All right, let's talk about cryptocurrency. We're going to cut through all the hype and all the noise and just get right down to it. What is this stuff really? Why was it even created? And how in the world does it actually work? Well, we're going to break it all down right here, right now. So, to really get it, let's start with the most fundamental question of all. When you hand a friend a $5 bill, that's it, transaction over. It's simple, it's direct. But why has it never been that easy with digital money? This single question, this is the entire reason cryptocurrency was invented in the first place. And that simple problem, the difference between physical cash and digital money, it brings us to the absolute core of the issue, what I like to call the problem of digital trust. See, every single digital payment we make, whether it's buying a coffee or paying our rent, it depends on a system that's built on trusting institutions, not people. I mean, really think about it for a second. When you swipe your card at a coffee shop, you're not actually paying them directly. Oh no, there's a whole chain of middlemen, your bank, Visa, their bank, all working behind the scenes. They're there to make sure you actually have the money, to move it, and to keep a record of it. Without them, what's to stop you from just spending that exact same digital dollar over and over again? Now, this total dependency on middlemen, it creates three pretty big problems. First, you've got the record keeper problem. Basically, every financial move you make is being watched and recorded by these big institutions. Second is the access problem. They're the gatekeepers, right? So they can decide for any reason to just deny you service or freeze your account. And third, there's the failure problem. If your bank or the payment system goes down, well, your money could be at risk. So what's really important to get here is that this isn't some new problem that just popped up. People have been trying to create a true form of digital cash for decades, way before Bitcoin ever showed up. And understanding why all those early attempts failed, well, that's the key to understanding why crypto is designed the way it is today. This right here, this was the big, scary monster under the bed for every single one of those early systems. It's called the double spending problem. A physical coin can only be in one pocket at one time, right? But a digital file, you can just copy and paste it a million times. So the central puzzle was, how do you create digital money that can't just be duplicated endlessly? And you can see this pattern play out over and over again. You had DigiCash, eGold, Liberty Reserve, they all gave it a shot. And they all had the same fatal flaw. They ultimately relied on a central company, a single entity, to keep the records and prevent that double spending. And that central point of control, it was also their single point of failure. It could be shut down, it could be mismanaged, or it could be taken over. Okay, so if having a boss in the middle is the problem, how on earth do you build a system that doesn't have one? That huge challenge leads us right to the big breakthrough that finally made it all possible, the blockchain. I mean, that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If there's no Visa, no Bank of America, no one in charge of validating everything and keeping the official records, what's to stop total chaos? How do you stop people from cheating? How do you finally solve that dreaded double spending problem? Well, the answer is the blockchain. Here's the idea. Instead of one private record book kept under lock and key by a bank, the blockchain is a public record book, and it's shared across thousands of computers all over the world. Every single transaction gets recorded on every single copy of the book. So to cheat the system, you'd have to somehow trick thousands of computers all at the exact same time. It's basically impossible. So here's how it works in practice. First, you use what's called a private key. Think of it like a super secure password that only you have to authorize a payment. Step 2, that transaction gets broadcast out to the whole network of computers. And finally, specialized computers called miners grab your transaction, check that it's valid, bundle it up with a bunch of others into a block, and then add it to that permanent public chain. Now, that word mining, it's a little misleading, right? It sounds like they're digging for digital gold. But what's really happening is that these computers are doing an insane amount of computational work. They're racing to solve a really complex math problem. The first one to solve it gets to add the next block to the chain, and this incredible amount of work is what makes the network so secure. As a reward for all that effort, the miner who wins gets paid in newly created coins. Okay, so this whole system, this shared record book with no one in charge, it's pretty revolutionary. But, and this is a big but, it's not a magic fix for everything. Getting rid of the middleman solves that trust problem we talked about for sure, but it also introduces a whole new set of trade-offs you have to accept. And this chart, man, it lays it out perfectly.
A centralized system like Visa, it's super fast, and you have safety nets like chargebacks. You can reverse the transaction. But a decentralized system like Bitcoin, it's slower, and once a transaction is done, it is done. It's irreversible. But in exchange, you get direct control over your own money and a network that can't be shut down by any one person or government.
And that really gets to the most critical takeaway. With cryptocurrency, you are the bank. You gain this incredible power to send money to anyone, anywhere, without asking for permission. But you lose the safety net. If you send your money to the wrong address, or if you get scammed, there's no customer service line to call. There's no fraud department. You get total control, but you also take on total responsibility.
All right, let's really bring this home. To truly see the difference, let's put crypto right next to the traditional dollars we use every day. Because these aren't just slightly different versions of the same thing. They are fundamentally different systems with completely different rules. Just look at this side by side. When you have dollars in a bank, what you really have is an IOU from the bank. It's a claim. With Bitcoin, you have direct possession of the asset itself, secured by your private key. Dollar transactions can be reversed by the bank. Bitcoin transactions are totally final once they're confirmed. And the supply of dollars can be changed by central banks, while Bitcoin's supply is absolutely fixed by its code. It's a completely different world. And that kind of brings us full circle. In the end, it's not about whether crypto is good or bad. That's the wrong way to look at it. It's a technology, and like any technology, it comes with a unique set of trade-offs. It gives you the power to be your own bank, but at the cost of a safety net. It gives you a currency that can't be controlled by governments at the cost of speed and convenience. So the real question isn't, is it good? The real question is, for you and what you need to do, is that trade-off worth it?